No, I think it's great. That's how you take control of your marriage and your cheating husband. You show up and you be their third.
Hey, get in here. Dallas is about to start.
Welcome to the Ewing barbecue, where creepers are gonna creep, I guess. My name is Mary.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Melanie. That was very generic, you guys.
It was super basic. It's fine. It's
basic bitches.
Basic bitches tonight.
Every once in a while, we just need generic.
Wait, I guess so.
Every once in a while. Plain is okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on. It's almost the holidays, and it's a thing.
Mm-hmm. But something that was not generic today is this really cool podcast episode that Mary was on.
Yes.
Which you've got to tell us about.
Yeah, so I was asked so there is, which I've mentioned on the show before, there is another Dallas podcast called After Dallas with James Ladd Jr. And I was talking with him offline because I listened to one of our listeners who, and I wish I remembered which one, and I'm really sorry. Someone told me about it, though. So if it was you, remind me that you reminded me, and I'll give you credit, that told me about it. So I went to listen to it, and I love it because it's not, I mean, it's like we both love the show. We're both doing different things with podcasts with the show. So he's full of spoilers and just talks about a subject. He'll talk about an episode. He'll talk about a scene. He'll talk about a character. He just has a theme and then talks about it. And it's really interesting.
I love that.
I love that too.
We should have him on. You should reciprocate.
That's what I said. We should have him on like a special episode.
For our DOA
he's
series.
So funny. Yeah, he's so funny, and he's just great, and a great person. And so, he had me on this week.
And apparently we've sent listeners to him, and he sent listeners to us.
I know, so I love that, yeah.
That is so cool. Thank you for, like, the marketing, I guess.
Yes, so it's great.
The interplay, I guess.
The interplay, yeah, and just like we're one big Dallas podcasting family. And it's great. And thank you, James, for letting me on your show. And we will have you on a very fun episode, promise. And we just talked about a lot of things. But there's spoilers on his. So if you haven't watched the whole series, warning, you'll get spoilers, but they're fun anyway.
Put your fingers in your ears and go da 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 da.
Right. But we had a really interesting conversation, and you can find that he's on all the things, all of the podcast platforms. It's After Dallas, and he's also there's a live stream of it, or not live stream, but a live, like you can see our faces on the YouTubes. So check it out.
You recorded that on Tuesday, right? Yesterday?
On Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
He had that up fast. And while you were recording that, I did a pilot for a little offshoot here called After the Barbecue, where we talk with different Dallas cast members about nothing to do with Dallas, but what they are doing currently and side projects and things that are important to them, different causes. And our first guest was Omri Katz, and we talked about
John Ross.
Yep. And we talked for about 55 minutes about what he did after he left Hollywood and his return to Los Angeles and his movement into the cannabis industry. And
can he hook us up with some of that? Just asking for a friend.
You can ask him in person at 90s Con, because I believe he's going to be getting us into 90s Con.
What? When is that?
March?
It's in March.
In Connecticut?
In Connecticut.
When in March?
March 17th weekend?
St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Like when I was in New York City in March. Okay, yeah. That's a thought.
We can meet in person, Melanie.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. Josh is the only one I've actually met in person.
Isn't that weird?
Melanie has met me, but I have never met Melanie. No, just kidding.
I'm a ghost.
That's right.
Yeah.
But no, that's so funny though, because true story. When I was in New York City a few weeks ago, I literally met Mary's friend, and I have not met Mary.
Yeah, but honestly, my best friend's Amber.
Yeah, honestly, though, just sitting there at the bar, like talking to Amber, I felt like I was talking to Mary. Like I did. I was like, I know why they're friends.
Yeah, we have stuff in common.
And for half a season on Knots Landing, there was a character, I believe her name was Mary's friend, that accidentally misdialed Gary's phone number and had it on her dial. So they were having this phone relationship for a while. And He just kept referring
Mary's
her to
friend,
as
huh?
Mary's friend or something or whatever. And 2023 is the 45th anniversary of Dallas, so we're going to try to bring on a lot more guests and surprises.
Branch out.
Surprises. And speaking of news, HBO Max or whatever they're going to call themselves in their future iteration is going to have
Max.
It's going to have HD Dallas in 2023.
I'm so excited.
And the Blu-ray complete remastered series will be coming out.
It just
the money I invested in those DVDs, man.
I know.
Dude.
I wonder if they'll be 4K Blu-rays or if it'll just be regular HD.
Oh.
I mean, they're already going back to the master. It seems like they should be doing the highest they could do right now.
That's
Let's
true.
It doesn't really matter if you don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah, that's true. And my phone actually
#cheap.
My phone actually records in 8K, and you can't post that anywhere because they don't.
No, it doesn't. But technology catches up. So
yeah. So one more thing, I just got the Duffy's Dough starter kit here, the starter and the cookbook. So I'll give a shout out to Patrick Duffy and Linda Pearl and their hardworking team that are getting all these orders out for Christmas.
I've been watching their Instagrams of them, just like they're packaging them themselves, and I love that. I love the pictures behind the scenes.
I like their little videos where he takes like the cinnamon rolls out of the oven and one is missing, and she's like eating it, or she's licking the plate after the pancake, sounding like she's having an orgasm licking the plate, and he's like, "Honey." Birthdays, December 11th. She had an affair with JR on Knots Landing. She was married to his brother Gary. So we'll give a shout out to Donna Mills, who turned 82. So she's only a few months younger than Linda. December 12th, our own Cherie J. Wilson turned 64, just like the Beatles song. Amy Stotch, who played Lisa Alden, turned 64 on December 13th. And December 19th, so I'll jump ahead there, Bill Murray, who played Leo Wakefield, was born in 1919, so he would be 103. And Jared Martin, born in 1941, he would be 81 on December 21st.
Jared Martin, 81. Oh, my God.
He would be.
Dang. Yeah. Wow. And a quick shout out to our Patreon members, Brendan Fillick, Captain America, Sheen Pye, Laura Bernheim, Brad Mulholland, Anita Wren, and Kristen Carlano. Thank you guys very much. You guys are superstars, and we love you. Seriously. From the bottom of our
Free
hearts.
bourbon for everybody.
You guys, if we ever see you in person, drinks on me, man. Drinks on me. So.
Everybody keep your eyes and ears peeled if there is a 45th anniversary event.
Yeah. We're going
down in Texas. We're going. We're going to try to hook on with them and do a live stream, like a live event.
Yeah, we're going to do all the things. It's going to be.
We want to be the official podcast of the 45th anniversary.
Well, maybe we can do it with James Ladd Jr.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've extended an invitation to Billy Ray Bates, who wrote Destination Dallas, to come join us.
What's Destination Dallas?
That is, it's a PDF book on Dallas and the new series.
Okay.
I think I sent you all a PDF of it a while ago.
You did. I just have a terrible memory, so yes.
Okay. So, but those are things coming in the new year. 2023 is going to be fun.
Yeah, 2023. Woo! Okay, tonight we are talking about Season 5, Episode 21, Episode 98 of this series, The Prodigal.
And we passed our 100. This is our, 101st?
Yeah. Yes, it'll be our 101st episode. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah, nuts.
Nuts.
Your father's dead, and I'm running this company.
You disgusting little man. Let me tell you who did come to see me, though. Clayton Farlow? Clayton. Sue Ellen, the man's in love with you. I don't think Mother would let anybody destroy Daddy's first company. Not even Cliff.
And I think I can safely say that shortly, you'll have absolutely nothing to worry about.
You ever come near my wife again, I'll kill you.
It was written by David Paulsen, directed by Michael Preece, and aired March 5th, 1982.
Michael Preece, who may be joining us next year on the show.
So cool. All right, the number one Billboard hit in the U.S. in this week is Centerfold by the J. Giles Band. The number one film is still in Golden Pond. Big stories this week is the New York Times raised its price from 25 to 30 cents, which is adorable. And the Russian spacecraft Venera 14 landed on Venus and on Dallas.
This episode finished at number 2 in the weekly ratings. Cast note, Bill Irwin, who played Abel Greeley at the hardware store, is a character actor that he was in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And if you, it being the holiday season, if you ever watched, who hasn't seen Home Alone, he was the man in the airport whose wife, Catherine O'Hara,
That's
bribed.
where I knew him from. I knew I recognized him, and I couldn't place him.
Lots of earrings, dangly ones.
Lots of earrings. Yes,
dangly
that's
ones.
where he was from.
Yes.
It was bothering me, and I didn't IMDb it. So okay.
And his wife, Billy Bird, in that she was a character actress from Home Alone. She was actually on Knots Landing. Little spin-off collection. Bill Irwin also played the hotel clerk in the 1980. Oh, Barbara Curran, you have to have a typo here. She said Christopher Reeves when it's actually Reeve. There's no S at the end of Christopher's name.
Somewhere in Time, yes.
In James Seymour movie Somewhere in Time, he played the hotel clerk.
Yes. I'm just putting all these together. I love that movie because I'm a time travel nut, and also that was filmed on Mackinac Island in Michigan. I love it.
Ooh. And Louis Arquette, who's in this episode, he played J.D. Pickett on The Waltons. And Morgan Brittany apparently felt that the nasty Catherine was a far less redeeming character than J.R. Because Hagman was very, very smart in making J.R. one of those people that you love to hate. And he wasn't really like her character because people didn't love to hate Catherine. They just outright hated her.
No, I love to hate Catherine.
And you kind of wanted to see JR get away with it because of his tongue-in-cheek villainy that almost thought he was doing his things as sport. He was doing all these evil, nasty things as a game, and he was very, very smart in the way he played it.
He liked to play with his food.
Oh, yes.
Basically.
And throw rolls at Patrick Duffy in between takes.
Yes.
And Howard Keel was very happy that Clayton had an interest in Sue Ellen because he loved working with Linda Gray, and she was very helpful to him and just a lovely person and a wonderful actress. And we already knew that, Howard.
Right.
Because everybody who knows Linda knows that she is a wonderful person. And that is all on that.
And that is all. And we open on a very fancy aerial shot of downtown Dallas.
Yes. Helicopter, probably, I assume.
Yeah, it looks like a helicopter shot.
Pre-drone.
And then we cut in... Pre-drone, yes. Definitely pre-drone. And then we cut into, I think it's Rebecca's apartment or condo, where Cliff is bragging to Rebecca and Catherine about he was too smart for JR's setup.
Yes. And Cliff wants to make the Wentworth Tool and Die. He wants to do things without having to run to Houston to get approval from the board all the time. And
yeah, he's looking for more control. Which Catherine hates that idea. She's like, I'm sorry. Everyone else has to do that. And he's like, yeah, but I'm her son.
And I think he's convinced Rebecca to give him that power. And that really doesn't. Here we start to see Catherine shifting towards the dark side.
I feel like we see
something dark side.
Gloves start coming off this episode with Catherine.
Ooh,
nails start.
The crazy eyes come out.
Crazy eyes come out. Yes, crazy eyes.
The nails. I think I even said claws out about one scene.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And in movie terms, I'm thinking Knives Out, like the movie. which has the sequel. Was it Glass Onion coming out?
Yeah, I want to watch that because I loved Knives Out.
And Marlene Forte, who played Jordana Brewster's mother on Dallas, was in the original Knives Out.
Awesome. So JR brings John Ross home to Sue Ellen's, and Mrs. Chambers answers the door. She's like, sorry, she's not home. And JR's like, where is she? She's like, she's just out.
Mrs. Chambers is running interference.
Yeah.
Big
So
time.
it's totally there. She's just ghosting him.
Been there, done that. Oh.
What, ghosting somebody?
No. I've been receiving.
Rude.
I've been on the receiving end of a lot of that. So yes.
Me too.
This is 2022.
You take it way too personally.
We're all on
way
it.
too personally.
We all receive ghosting in this day and age.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Because the world is haunted.
The world is a vampire.
I want to suck your blood. Oh, I like this scene next with JR and Ray.
Oh yeah. It's South Fork, and Ray's like giving JR's giving Ray shit for like being dressed up and stuff. Ray. A new character. Ray.
Does that mean he calls himself a half breed?
Yes.
All right, Josh. So you've got your voice for Ray. We need one for Ray.
I'll do my homework on that one. So does that mean he walks in and catches himself in bed with Garnet McGee?
Yeah, I guess.
I just I think of like Mario and Wario, but at the same time, JR is already fucking evil. So what do you do?
It's like a Waluigi.
No, Ray's in bed with.
I'm dead.
Ray's in bed with Garnet McGee and sees himself in the mirror in bed with Garnet McGee and has a hissy fit.
Like, yeah. I'm just a half breed.
Literal
a dumb cowboy.
Now.
I'm just a half breed. Yeah, because we don't eat with knives and forks up here at the big house.
Oh my God. Rayar.
I'm sorry, you guys.
We'll keep part of this and put the other part on Patreon.
And for anyone listening, you notice Sarah's not with us. We're thinking of her. She's dealing with these bad storms moving her air.
Yeah, bad storms and her internet's going out in Alabama.
Terrible storms.
So
we're hoping you know what I can do.
Somebody spiked the peppermint bark rum chata tonight, or the eggnog, because we're a little punchy here. So yeah, JR says that Ray must feel like a new man since dumping his shares, and I'm just glad to help out my brother. Please, Mary, please. Can you say it?
Fuck you, JR.
Ding ding ding.
I don't know where my bell is.
Oh, here
it is.
But then JR leaves, and Ray has come to have Ellie sign some papers or contracts for the ranch. So he's just showing him doing his job and looking all cleaned up, and he says how he's looking forward to Donna getting home and all that stuff. We're at the sanitarium.
Yeah, Donna is researching about Sam Culver, and she talks to Mr. Kensington. And he says, hey, have you talked to Abel Greenlee at the hardware store? Because he knows a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and Jonas was committed in February of 30 and died like 2 months later.
In April. Yeah.
The plot thickens here.
It does. Da-da-da.
I wonder where that's going.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Clayton advising Sue Ellen on how to handle JR. While he's advising her on how to handle JR, Cliff arrives to pick Sue Ellen up for a lunch date, and Sue Ellen goes upstairs to get ready, and Cliff and Clayton chat about running into each other a lot. And Melanie, I don't know about you, that did not seem to sit well with Clayton, that he was going to be running into Cliff, because he really doesn't know this Cliff character too well, does he?
No, and Cliff was all like, hey man, can I buy you a drink? You want some breakfast or whatever? And Clayton's like, no, I'm good. Like, he seemed really rattled by it, and Cliff was just like, let's have a party.
I know, and Cliff is like It's like he's making himself at home, like it's his place too. Like, hey, why don't I go pour you a drink? Or why don't I go make you some scrambled eggs or something? And I'm going like,
Clayton's like, I interrupted something here. This is awkward. I'm gonna go. And Cliff's like, oh, nonsense. Whatever. Come on.
yeah, well,
It's so funny.
we'll all be buddies and pals. Woohoo! What was that expression? Two's company and three's a crowd?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And it was kind of, I'm not going to say Cliff was kind of cringe, but it was kind of cringe.
No, it was 100% cringe. He was cringe.
Yeah, it was cringe. Yeah, Clayton was like, this is weird. And by the way, I didn't say this earlier, but when Clayton and Sue Ellen, a couple scenes back, were on the patio, I want to see the patio of that townhouse. I want to see more of the townhouse.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to know what the upstairs looks like. I want to know what the patio looks like. Like, show me the condo.
Yes. Show me everything.
It's
show
like, I still want to know. I want to see what a toilet in the Brady Bunch house looks like. Because they never showed a toilet.
Yeah, we didn't see one in Dallas either. I don't think so.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
See a Ewing toilet. I'd like to.
I remember the Love toilet on Saturday Night Live where they had the
yes.
They flushed together. So Pam arrives in a fur coat to take Bobby to an early dinner. Mm-hmm. And as they're leaving, he ignores a phone call from Jeff Faraday. And then a delivery man. This is really like, things are getting a little dicey in Bobby's little plot line here. Because as they're leaving, he almost takes a letter and goes, oh, no, wait, that's for my brother, JR, who goes over to Sly, and she signs for it and brings in the JR.
If only he'd opened it.
And what is in that envelope?
Da-da-da.
No, I'm asking, what's in the envelope?
Who knows?
It's Christopher's.
What's in the letter?
It's Christopher's birth certificate. And his middle name is Mark.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he was actually born on, we got his birth date, if you looked at the birth certificate, of August 18th of 81.
August 18th, 81.
Yep.
Love that. I'm going to have to write that down. I'm trying to keep track of like all these little facts. Make my own Dallas Bible.
Factoids, as we would call them.
Yeah.
Little factoids.
Factoids.
August 18th. I knew you would like that, so I wrote that down. But
August 18th, 81. I dig it.
So JR hops on the phone to Greer in California, Lowell Greer, which is a man with two last names. And he wants info on JR wants info on Kristen's lifestyle and who she was with. And Greer says, oh, I'm actually coming to Dallas conveniently for some other business.
Right.
Conveniently, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Conveniently.
I just happen to be coming to Dallas, and I will give you an update as soon as I get there.
Then we go to Afton. She's like getting ready before the show. And then knock on the door. It's Clayton. And he's like, hey, do you remember me? We met a while back.
Oh, yeah. You were with Sue Ellen.
And Afton's like really weird. And she's just like, okay. And then he wants to talk about Cliff, which is awkward to me.
I want to see if he is. I want to find out more about him because I would like to know if he is worthy of Sue Ellen, who is like my daughter.
Sounds like he's got feelings and he wants to step aside, but he won't do that if he thinks he's passing her off to somebody who's a piece of crap.
Right. Clayton's totally
That's what that sounds like.
Cutting through all of the crap, you just hit the nail on the head, yes.
And I would just like to put out there, this is my own, after watching a lot of these episodes with Afton, I just want to say that I my personal opinion is that in the best sense of the word, Afton is a witch. She's totally a witch. She has a sixth sense. Afton knows what everybody is feeling. She like immediately senses like the emotional undertones of like almost every situation, and she's spot on.
She is not the dumb blonde.
She's spooky.
She is not the dumb one. No, Afton is like smarter about all these things than everybody because she just immediately senses. She's like, okay, you're in love with this person. That person's in love with this person. She sees it right away. She's always right. She's a witch. Afton's a witch.
It's like in the Jay Giles song, Love Stinks. He loves her and she loves him and he loves her and
She's so smart with those things.
Oh, yes.
And she's always right. So, and she is immediately like, you're in love with Sue Ellen then. Okay, cool. And and you can see the look on Clayton's face when she says it, where he like doesn't deny it. And then he kind of looks off like, oh shit, maybe I am. Oh, okay.
The light has dawned on Marblehead. It's like,
like he didn't realize it. And then he was like, oh, yup.
She caught him with his hand in the cookie jar, and he wants to deny, but he can't deny it because his hand is there he's got the cookie in his hand. He wants the Sue Ellen cookie. There's no denying it.
He wants Sue Ellen's cookie. Mm-hmm. Yes, he does.
You just sounded like Sarah would say that.
I did. I gotta do it. Sarah's not here.
Nope, bro. Danger noodle.
It's super sweet. Mm-hmm.
They're eating breakfast in the kitchen again at South Fork.
Again, yeah. Okay. I guess this is a new thing.
Yeah. And JR is kind of poking around to find out how old Christopher is, and finds out.
They say something like, "Oh, he's so big for a 7-month-old," and then he's like 7 months. He's born July, August, and she's like August. He's like, "Huh, Christopher, born in August." Huh. Interesting.
That's the baby that came from my danger noodle. Oh. JR is kind of slithering around in this episode, putting the pieces together to the puzzle, and it's kind of
putting it together.
It's kind of fun watching him slither behind the scenes to put the pieces to this puzzle together.
It is.
Because he could use this to his advantage in a very big way, I believe.
I mean, I guess that's how it's all on how he handles it, right? Like he could use it in several ways, but it's always good to have the knowledge, I guess, to do that.
No, as I said on Survivor, knowledge is power.
It's true. Very true.
Thank you, Jeff Probst. The man with only one vowel in his last name.
So Katherine visits Cliff, and this is where the gloves come off and the claws come out.
Mm-hmm. She's
just literally like straight away like, why are you ruining my father's company? He's like, oh, okay, so you tell me how you really feel finally. Cool, okay, let's go.
Exactly. The bitch has arrived.
We have approached Crazy Eyez Katherine, and goddamn, I love Crazy Eyez Katherine so goddamn much. So much. Even though I wanted to preface this by like, she does so much interference in my favorite storylines and the whole show. Like she messes it all up, and I still love her because she's amazing.
She confronts him on wanting autonomy,
like
and she's like, "Oh no, you want to be King Barnes?"
She's not wrong.
No,
he does.
That's what I said. Oop, Crazy Eyez. Here comes Crazy Eyez.
Right.
Crazy Eyez Katherine.
And he said, "Well, he's going to run her father's company any way he wants because." Newsflash, Katherine, your father is dead.
Yeah, ouch.
I feel like this is like poking the bear at this point, and that's probably not a good idea.
And this is the first time. This is the first time she calls him a disgusting little man.
Disgusting little man. And he's like, "Yeah, I might be a disgusting little man." Like,
honestly, I don't know. I would almost throw her a bone. Like, okay, this is your dad's company. Why is she not on the board? Is she on the board? Offer a seat on the board.
Right.
Like,
there's
Katherine,
ways to diffuse this situation, but why isn't
do you
Katherine
want some input?
Why doesn't she have her own company if she wants that? I don't understand.
Katherine, if you weren't running around trying to play television reporter.
Okay, so we obviously know Rebecca Wentworth was a businesswoman. Mm-hmm. She probably learned a lot of what she learned from Herbert. So she was able to make decisions. Katherine must have shown no interest in business whatsoever and wanted to go do her own thing. So why the hell is she so pissed off now?
I think so. Because
I think her dad's, and Cliff isn't a Wentworth. That's all it is. Right. He's a half-breed.
He's a half-breed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's a barnacle.
She's jealous.
I think it's that thing where Herbert was the man in Katherine's life, and now there's this other man that is her half sibling, coming in, taking her father's
daddy issues.
Yes, and taking the father, she doesn't want someone. She feels like her father's being just discarded in his memory.
Discarded. Totally. Yeah.
It's like, well, you got a little bit going here for you, Katherine. Like, you grew up with both parents, and your mother walked out on these other two children who were raised by an alcoholic father, and their aunt, and had to basically pull themselves out of the gutter. So shut your privileged ass up. I don't want to hear it.
Totally. Yes.
Poor little rich girl. All right, I'm done.
No, it's true. It's true.
You're a rich girl and you've gone too far because it don't matter anyway.
Don't matter anyway.
You can rely on your old man's money. You can rely.
Side note, I just learned about Colin Oates today.
Colin Oates?
I had no idea. Colin Oates was a hotline. I think it might still be in existence with a Colorado Springs area code where you call and press 1 through 4 and get a Colin Oates song.
I posted it on Facebook before. Yeah.
Colin Oates. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it still works.
That's hilarious. Yes.
Oh. I think we should drink every time Katherine refers to Cliff as a disgusting little man or something like that.
Okay, let's add it to the list.
My God, how are we not walking through this with alcohol poisoning?
I don't know.
That's like the commercial for the classic rock station here in Boston. They said, and every time we play a great song, here's a new drinking game. Every time we play a great song, take a drink. And then you hear the person fall over and they go, on second thought, that might not be such a good idea.
Yeah, right.
That's funny. I mean, we're at the point now. Have you guys ever drank so much that you kind of drank yourself sober and didn't have a hangover the next day, but you completely blacked out?
Not completely blacking out. No, I haven't done that.
As fuck.
I have both done the thing where I've drank all the way till morning and then been like, I guess I'm sober now. And then whatever, when I was in New Orleans. And I have also blacked out, but those are separate occurrences.
There was New Year's.
Weirdest experience.
There was New Year's Eve in 9th grade, but that's another story because I was told I was told that I was doing. My sister was a senior in high school, and I was told I was doing things with one of her girlfriends that I don't even remember that I should want to remember.
Whoa,
that's another story. We won't go there. That might be
okay.
And
we'll hear the story when we're in Texas.
And her sister sat next to me in math class. So I'm sitting there going, "Oh God, I wonder if she knows what I was doing with her sister." No. But that's anyway.
Wow. Another side to Josh. So then we cut to Lucy, and she's telling Blair like how she's shocked she's gotten so much work like so quickly.
But she doesn't feel comfortable anymore with Roger, and she would like another photographer.
Right. Okay. This scene bothers me because she's like, can I get a different? She's like literally asking him, can I have a different photographer? Like, I don't feel comfortable. He's being weird. And Blair's just like, what? No, you can't. It's too late. Blah, blah, blah. Like, this is Blair. This is your job. Your model is feeling obviously unsafe. What are you doing? And he's just like, no.
This is obviously 1981 and not 2022. Because
we're in 1982.
And another thing that really got me is that, like, now you're concerned, Lucy. Like, okay, I'm sorry. I know you're probably in a, like, oh God, soapbox again. She was probably in a situation where she felt very unsafe walking into that room and seeing the pictures of her on the wall everywhere. But I also feel like at the same time, yeah, I'm just going to stop myself right there. I can't continue with this thought.
Okay.
Because I'm about to victim blame, and I can't do that.
It sounded a little victim blaming. I was like, well, yeah, but she yes, I think it took her a minute to realize the situation she was in, and she was and then all of a sudden she probably should have seen it sooner, but she didn't. But then all of a sudden she's in it, and she's like, oh God.
And she's like,
oh God.
I just gotta stay. I just have to get out of this. I just have to do what I have to do to get out of this.
She's realizing now, like, this isn't good.
And
now I'm seeing this through different lenses, honestly.
And after she sees the stuff all over the wall, she still lets herself get seduced and kisses him.
No, there's a difference. That's why I stopped myself, because there is consent, and then there is the power differential.
Yeah.
That is what was going on here.
It is.
She felt threatened. She did what she had to do to survive. And I know this is like way up here for 1981.
82.
But
yeah,
82.
We've
But
crossed
that's
over.
what I see. I see somebody who is doing what she has to do to get the hell out of there so she doesn't end up with like a hand around her throat or something.
She got in there. She was afraid. She did it because she was like, that's that. I mean, speaking as a woman, that is a part of your brain kicking in that's like, okay, I have to survive this situation. Okay. So I'm not going to make waves because I could end up dead because she could have.
Yep. Perfect example right there also of calling yourself out on your own bullshit.
Yes. That's amazing.
And
because I was like, what? Well, hold on. Nope. Think back a minute.
And going back to Christopher being born August 18th and being 7 months old, this episode takes place at least sometime after March 18th. Between March 18th and April
I was wondering,
18th.
I was going to do the math, but I did not do the math. Okay.
So that's where we are in the season.
Okay.
So I had to call myself out on my old bullshit about that, put myself in Lucy's shoes, do whatever the hell I would have to do to get the fuck out of there.
That's just rewatching it through a different lens, and that's what we're doing, right? We're watching it through a different lens and being like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, because like my first reaction was like, oh, even now, even just watching this like last week, it was like, oh, come on, Lucy, like you knew he was bad news, but like why are you just going to Blair now? And then just as I was vocalizing it out to you guys, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't right. I know what happened here. Sometimes just like speaking it out, you're like, wow, that's really fucked up. So you can totally keep this in, by the way. I don't mind.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. I love all of this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I, like we've said before,
loves this
like,
crap.
When I was first watching this series, when I was in my early 20s, the EQ is different, because it's been 15, 16 years.
The last time I watched this, I was also in my early 20s. So it's the same.
And we're
at life experience and maturity.
Yep.
And where we are in the world today. And
it's different. Yes. And we're finally able to like talk about things more that we wouldn't have talked about then. So it's good. Yes. Yeah.
And speaking of talking, Jeff Faraday calls Bobby, and Bobby does not appreciate being called at home. In fact,
Faraday wants to meet at Mr. Z's, and Bobby's like, okay.
We've got nothing to talk about.
It's like, oh, I think we do.
I think we do. And I want to meet in public. Okay.
At 8 p.m., which is high noon for them.
Do you really think Bobby Ewing isn't going to kick your ass in public?
Yeah,
like, come on.
He's Bobby Ewing. He can do what he wants.
You don't know him very well, Mr. Faraday.
He does not.
He will absolutely grab you by the collar and throw you across the bar, and then break a chair over your head, and then pick you up by your legs and slam you into the wall,
and maybe smash a beer bottle over your head too.
All the different things that Bobby Ewing is going to do to you,
because Bobby has a temper.
He could be. Bobby would be like. Did you ever see Superman 2? The second
years
one?
Ago. A long time ago, yeah.
When Christopher Reeve Clark goes back into the diner at the end of the movie, and he's sitting in the seat that the guy beat him up in last time, and the guy comes and goes, "It's my seat," and Clark has obviously gotten his powers back, so he pounds the guy and then sends him down the diner on a tray, and he falls into the pinball machine, and it's like, that's Bobby Ewing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There were a couple of bar fights in later years and then in one of the TV movies that I was just like, these are amazing. I love them so much. Like the ones where all the guys are fighting and JR's like behind the table.
Where JR ducks down. They're so good, yes.
Yes.
So good.
And even Sue Ellen.
Set the bill, that's so fork.
And even Sue Ellen's getting into that fight in the War of the Ewings.
Oh my God, that was great.
I haven't watched
that was the best part of that
TV
whole
movies
fucking movie.
What's that?
Since the 90s, I think. I haven't watched those.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You need to
I
watch
rewatch Dale's early years quite often, but I haven't watched those movies in a while.
JR Returns is the far superior one.
It is, yeah.
And watching Yellowstone and how they did 1883, which was the prequel, and now they're going to do 1923 starting this coming weekend with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. who acted together in The Mosquito Coast.
I mean, honestly, that's what Dallas needs to do. How many times have we talked about it?
Yes.
You talk to...
Who do we have to talk to?
They need to have...
Who wants to bankroll it, first of all?
And they can even be different things like 1883, where it's 10 episodes. Then they jump to 1920. They're going to do 2 seasons of that. They can do these little things, fill in the gaps.
There's so many things they could do. So many things. Agreed.
Meanwhile, at the hardware store, we're going to get some backstory here from the dangly ones. Dangly ones. She has a whole shoebox of them. Dangly ones. Abel Greeley.
And Donna's asking him, like, hey, why did Sam put his uncle in an institution? Do you know? And he's like, well, there's a whole lot of gossip about that. Do you want to hear the gossip?
Why, I think I do. Please spill the tea.
And basically the tea is that that Sam and maybe Jock conspired to lock up his uncle to steal his land to sell it because it had oil in it, which is super sus.
Oh, man. And Jock has just died. Man.
That's a awkward thing to find out if that's true.
Oh boy. Hi.
Uncomfy.
As uncomfortable as it is seeing Katherine arrive in that fur coat at Scalini restaurant, and then she takes it off. Is this the first time she's worn some expensive fur?
It might be. I don't know. Is this our first time at Scalini restaurant? Because I didn't recognize it.
It might be, but it shows up later on quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Yeah. It seems like they're always eating at Scalini. But this is like the first Scalini visit of many to come.
I think it is. Yeah. New location. And Katherine orders a dry martini.
That's an interesting thing when you think about it. Dry martini, but you're drinking a liquid. Anytime you order a drink that's dry, I always find it funny because a drink is a liquid and it's wet.
When I think of dry, I think of dry wine, and that makes me think it's not sweet and it tastes like vinegar.
Yeah. Which is, I like that better. I like a dry red wine.
Red wine, you make me feel so fine.
So, did I hear JR correctly? Cliff is a good businessman? Really?
Is that the first compliment? A backhanded compliment?
I was like... Because Catherine's like, and JR's like, oh, Cliff Martin's a good businessman. I was like, are you high? Like, what the fuck are you even... What's the point of him even saying that?
You know what?
He knows that Catherine's pissed.
He knows Catherine's pissed, and JR, I mean, if JR didn't think that Cliff was sort of competent and a good businessman, he wouldn't have bothered with him. If he really thought Cliff was the loser that he presented him to be, like he always said, he wouldn't have even bothered with him. The fact that JR fucks with Cliff so much is because he actually is intimidated by Cliff.
Sees him as a threat. Yeah.
So it's not just business he's concerned about because, of Barnes, Wentworth, whatever.
Because he knows that Cliff is driven by hatred of the Ewings, and he will do shit to fuck him up if he can. And so he's intimidated. Knows
that Cliff is courting Sue Ellen.
He also knows that Sue Ellen is attracted to Cliff. And that super intimidates JR.
That is pissing him off royally. Yeah. It's totally. Like it's kind of like JR's like, all right. First of all, you're not gonna fuck with my wife, like, because you already have, motherfucker. You're gonna fuck with my company too. I am gonna I will fuck you up. You fuck with them, I will fuck you up.
And JR never refers to her as his ex-wife.
No, I brought that up last time.
Right.
Yeah.
Time before that. No, it's never the ex-wife. It's always my wife. My wife.
Right.
My wife, like the song by The Who. Yeah. But it's like a backhanded compliment, but not a compliment. Saying that he's a good businessman.
That's JR's specialty. So anyway, so she's worried about what's going to happen with her dad's company. And JR says, you know what? Soon you'll have nothing to worry about. Trust me. And she's just like,
Wally Hampton. Okay. Wally Hampton. It's got to be Wally Hampton.
That makes me feel better.
He's the plant.
Right.
Well, not so much, because in the next scene, JR wants this guy Murphy to fudge the reports on the Wellington land, which is next to the land tracts that West Star has and the cartel and stuff to make it look like it's oil rich. And the
guy doesn't want to do it, but JR basically blackmails him, so he has to.
You remember that? That's what he does. He's like, well, I certainly haven't forgotten this thing I did for you. Pisses me off so much.
Quid pro quo.
People like that. Fuck you, JR. Like, it's like, after all I've done for you, kiss my ass. I really don't give a fuck.
And scratch my balls.
I mean, scratch my little girl balls.
I described this next scene as Ray has pulled his head out of his ass and shined his buckle and polished his shoes, showered, shaved, and gotten a haircut and some flowers to welcome Donna home.
And
that's pretty accurate.
Donna, make him get a round of antibiotics before you even put your tongue near that. God, send his ass to the doctor. You don't know what he has.
That's some truth, though. That's true.
Rye, you're off to the clinic. Rye.
Like, Rye. I'm sorry.
Rayar.
Rayar. Yeah, exactly. Perfect, actually. Rayar. You man whore. Yes. Yeah. Donna, go send Rayar to the doctor. Don't let him come back until he has a clean bill of health, doesn't have the syphilis or whatever the hell else.
Go have all of Bonnie's crabs and other bacteria scraped out of you and scrubbed down.
Literally not how it works. I think we've had this conversation before.
You get the point, though.
Yes,
have yourself flushed of any Bonnie.
Yeah. All the antibiotics.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That's not how it works. It's not how it works. Literally not how it works. Okay, I'm done.
We're being figurative.
So then Donna calls Dave Culver and says, hey, do you know anything about this Jonas guy who is Sam's uncle? And he's like, I have no idea, but you are welcome to look through our records that are in the attic of the Dallas house.
Which they still have, obviously, apparently.
Which I thought that was weird. They still had the house just sitting there? All right.
I thought they were going to sell it.
Crazy?
But
I thought they were selling it.
She didn't have to go all the way to Big Springs to find this shit. If she had looked in the attic.
True. If she had just looked in the attic.
Found it.
But then we wouldn't have had Abel Greeley with his shoebox full of earrings, the dangly ones.
The dangly ones. Okay, so then we get a super awkward scene. Super awkward, where Afton visits Sue Ellen.
That took balls. Balls to show up at her house like that.
Afton has all the balls, I'm telling you.
She has all the balls. She has
He's got
the
big
intuition.
balls, and she's got big balls.
Yeah. But I've got the biggest balls of them all.
Right. And it is met
I know ACDC. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
She's met with just coldness. Sue Ellen is just kind of like, what are you doing here?
If my husband's mistress showed up at my house, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Do you want a fist in your face? You better walk away.
And Sue Ellen,
bitch.
Sue Ellen refers to her as a little girl.
Right, because Sue Ellen doesn't know what's up. She doesn't know her and JR had a falling out. All she knows is that Afton fucked her husband at some point, and she is not having it.
In Sue Ellen's bed.
That was. Ooh. Now I do kind. You
can't blame her.
The line that Sue Ellen delivered to Afton in the new series, I don't know. Kristen, I think, was worse than Afton. However, Kristen was worse. But Kristen also wasn't there to throw that zinger at. So Afton is a damn close second, screwing somebody in my bed.
Well, spoiler
can we
alert.
just say that JR was the person who was married in this situation?
Correct.
So JR is definitely the worst person.
JR is the worst person. However, Afton also knowingly slept with a married man in the bed he shared with his wife.
While the wife was outside. Yeah, that's
while the wife was outside.
Anyway, so Afton being Afton just gets right down to business, and she accuses Sue Ellen. Yeah, she accuses Sue Ellen of using Cliff as a weapon against JR, which Sue Ellen denies. But Afton being Afton and knowing everything hits the nail on the head. And then then and basically Sue Ellen's like, well, why is it your business? And she's like, it's my business because I love Cliff Barnes and you're messing with him. So that makes it my business.
Then she clues her in to the fact that Clayton is in love with her.
Has the feels, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has the squeezy feels.
Sue Ellen's kind of like, not even. And then she's like, yeah, even. And then Sue Ellen kind of looks off like, oh shit, maybe.
Awkward.
Yeah.
Speaking of awkward, Lucy shows up at Rogers, and he confronts Lucy about requesting another photographer.
Yeah, Blair. What the hell was Blair thinking? Blair told Roger that that Lucy wanted a different photographer. Like, okay, you've just put Lucy in danger, Blair. This is how women get killed.
She thinks he's possessive and scary, and then Blair and the others arrive for the shoot, and she has a terrified look on her face. Because she is alone. If you look at it, she's alone in this room with all these men. She's the only female.
She's alone in this room with all these men. Okay, so Roger threatens her. All these other men walk in. She's literally cowering in that room. No one notices. No one says a goddamn thing. Hate it. Hate it.
Faraday tries to extort more money out of Bobby. And Bobby's
Bad move.
No. Says, if you ever go near my wife again, I'll kill you.
Right. He very loudly threatens to kill Faraday in public in a bar, which makes me think that Faraday's going to end up dead in the next couple episodes because that's how that works.
You never use the phrase, I'm going to kill you in a public place.
Just don't do it, because then that just leads to someone killing that person and then you're going to be a suspect. What? No, Bobby.
Didn't Jock Ewing say that to Hutch McKinney in the bar?
Yes. This is a plot point from so many shows. Just don't do it.
Granted, it took 28 years to unearth the skeleton and haul Jock into court, but
people always remember a death threat. They will always remember a death threat, though. So just don't do it.
Yeah, no.
Even if he threatens to talk to your wife.
Yeah. Jumping now off to the Culver attic.
Yes. Donna finds the diaries. And then she finds out, basically, that Sam and Jock totally committed that uncle to steal his land. And then they were, like, going to get him out after they stole the land. But in the meantime, the uncle kills himself.
Lord, what have we done?
Yeah. You guys, you fucked up.
Do you put that in the book?
Right. That's a choice she has to make now. Because it doesn't put him in the best light.
And Jock has just died, so he's in the glowing light right now.
Right. So we got to South Fork. Lucy is obviously upset. Pam comes out. And she tells Pam that she's afraid of Roger. And she tells him about his creepy wall. And Pam is just, okay, we get like a little bit of old Pam back here.
That's what I wrote down. Yes, we go. Later I said Pam goes old. I'll save that for the next scene. Or with her.
Yeah. Anyway, she's just basically like, what's his address? Okay. Be right back.
Watch Christopher for me, would you?
Yeah. BRB. We had a clip scene of JR and Marilee post-sex.
Pillow talking, post-coital.
Talking about a merger? Yeah, post-coital merger talk.
Is that him merging himself into her? Or is there business involved? Or there's so many innuendos in this.
So many.
I used to think that word when I was little was in your window. I'm like, what does it have to do with a window instead of innuendo? I'm looking around like, where's the window? Is the window open or closed?
That reminds me of, it was the episode of The Nanny where she's dating this guy who speaks French and he keeps saying je t'adore, which is I love you. And she's like, the man is obsessed with shutting the door. Like, she would get up and shut the door every time he said it. She'd be like, okay.
Well, don't forget, she was the one who yelled yoo-hoo at Elton John when he was playing on the tennis court and he had the temper tantrum.
Oh, that's right. The bloody woman yelling yoo-hoo.
Which was...
Yeah, I remember.
Which
he was so pissed.
Which was based on a scene in his... the documentary that his husband did in Tantrums and Tiaras, where he was actually on vacation and there was some woman yelling yoo-hoo and he threw his tennis court racket down and stormed off and had a hissy fit in the middle of the documentary. So it was funny how they replayed that in The Nanny.
That's funny.
I guess by that time he could laugh about it. Because some things at the time are not fucking funny, and then several years later, they're like, wow, that actually was funny.
Right.
And your Je te do the door reminded me of...
Shut the door.
Yeah. Reminded me of the Wonder Years when Kevin was having this... He saw the new girl in his French class, and all he could say, and he kept having these dreams, was, voulez-vous de beurre? Voulez-vous de beurre? As he'd run after her, and that's the only French he could say. It was like, would you like some butter?
I got the voulez-vous. I was like, would you like... I couldn't think of what the other part was. It's like...
I'm thinking, no, it's not coucher avec moi ce soir, but...
I did German, so I don't know French at all.
It sounds great when it's in that song, but like when you translate it into English, would you like to sleep with me tonight? Like, that's not really singable to me.
Would you like to sleep with me tonight? Why, no, I would not. Do you like my hat?
Avec moi ce soir sounds a lot better.
Do you like my hat? I do not like your hat. Dogs drive away. Let's go to a dog party. Go, dog, go.
It's so funny because in French, you literally like put things at the end of a sentence that you normally wouldn't in English. So like my dad and my mom always like to, kind of joke about that. And they're like, throw me down the stairs, my hat. Throw me over the fence some hay. Or throw the cow over the fence some hay. Things like that. Because literally when you write it out in French, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
We all do remember.
The subject is at the end.
We all do remember Go Dog Go, right? The book.
I think
Dr.
so.
Seuss
Like
book?
what? C-Spot Run? Or no, not that one. Go Dog Go.
No, there was this reoccurring scene in there where the guy with this woman dog pulls up and she goes, "Do you like my hat?" And he goes, "I do not like your hat." And they drive away. And then later,
that's Cat in the Hat, isn't it?
No, this.
No, that's Green Eggs and Ham.
No, this is Go Dog Go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though, because all I could think of was I would not like them here or there.
I would not like them
anywhere. I do not like Green Eggs and Ham.
I do not like them, Sam I Am.
Sam I Am. Oh, my God. That's like the anthem of every child in this country, I swear. Forever. At least since the 1940s, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess, yeah.
Or whenever they were published. But anyways, God, sorry. No, we need to keep... Jesus.
We're getting there.
Okay, so with the scene, Pam goes to see Roger. And we get old school amazing Pam here.
Yeah, Pam goes...
This is like claws out Pam, Auntie Bear Pam.
I said...
I will fuck you up,
Pam. Yeah.
I said, Pam goes old school hard ass Pam on Roger's sorry ass.
Well, and that's the thing. He's like, that sounds like a threat. And she's like, yeah.
She's like, yeah, but if you don't
listen to me, I'm gonna stick my husband on you. Yeah.
Like, oh shit, Pam.
What's great is that I thought it was great that she threatened to stick Bobby on him, and we've already been over what Bobby will do to you in a bar. What do you think he'll do in private?
Yeah. Right.
But and then she leaves, and he starts stroking a picture of Lucy.
Stroking the picture of Lucy, I know, gross.
Weird.
Oh God, that guy.
This is never, ever an excuse for violence or anything like that committed against another person. But this man is not right in the head.
No,
he is a dangerous person. He's a dangerous person.
He's a dangerous individual. He's not right. Mentally, something is wrong. Mm-hmm. And like I said, there is no excuse for anything he does. But holy fuck, like he played Crazy so well. This actor,
he does.
What was his name? Do you remember? He played Crazy really well.
Dennis Redfield, was it?
Maybe he did Crazy pretty well.
He does that whole like, I want something, I deserve to have you. It doesn't matter what you want. I want.
He's
you.
like
Dennis Redfield. Yep.
Crazy girl. He's the classic nice guy incel, but who has the beautiful women.
Mm-hmm.
He has the beautiful women around him all the time. He could have whoever he wants, but he fixates and thinks he deserves.
Yep.
So the next scene, I have inflation LMAO.
Inflation, yeah. Well, yeah.
Sue Ellen.
Somebody made some stupid comment about inflation, and I was like,
well, the late 70s, early 80s had quite a bit of inflation, I think.
Honest to God inflation.
What is this new brand of coffee?
Not just price gouging by oil companies.
What
is this? Price gouging by oil companies. Oh,
and it all comes back around. Yeah.
What is this new brand of coffee that Sue Ellen wants to
I wonder if
try?
it's a Folgers Crystals test.
Oh.
Is that Folgers Crystals?
Perhaps she bought it from because she saw the ad with Margaret Hamilton from The Wizard of Oz.
Or maybe. Or what is that fancy coffee they always used to advertise that I thought rich people drank? And it came out.
Was it the Folgers one?
Sanka?
With the little packets?
It's the little flavored
cafe
one.
latte?
No, cafe, yeah. It's the little.
Oh my God! I love cafe latte.
Yeah.
Is that the
holy shit?
Cafe?
Why did they stop making it?
I don't know. I thought rich people had that, and then like those Vienna ice cream log things. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Grey Poupon, of course.
Grey Poupon. Oh my God. That's still one of my favorite things, to like roll up to people that I know in parking lots and ask them if they have any Grey Poupon.
I still
you have to
use
be of
that.
a certain age to get that joke, I think.
You do. That's why I'm like, I do it to people who are like 35 and older.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Pardon me.
I do you have any Grey
Do you have
Poupon?
any Grey Poupon? It's like, yeah, I just happen to be driving around with this mustard.
Like you do.
This whole ass sandwich in the back. Well, I mean, if you're in a limo and you're eating, maybe, but that's ridiculous.
Maybe.
You got to realize, though, these ads back then were classic.
General Foods International
General
Coffee.
Foods.
That's what it was. General Foods International. Yes. Yes, that's what it was.
Hang on. I'm
Yes.
thinking of the Folgers Cafe Latte.
Oh, like Folgers brand?
Oh, my God. They don't still make that, do they?
I would. Maybe.
If clearly Canadian and original New York seltzer came back, then there's hope.
Surge came back. There's hope.
Oh,
yeah.
it did? Oh.
Yeah, Surge came back like a couple years ago. I wish it stayed. I love Surge.
Remember Ecto Cooler? High C?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have some of them. They're probably spoiled.
You know what I can't believe came back that I've seen at Walmart and Dollar Tree is freaking Dunkaroos.
Oh.
I've seen those in Five Below.
Yeah, they started selling them in the multi-packs again. I couldn't believe it.
I bought, when Zima came back a couple years ago, I bought a bunch and I had 2 bottles left and I saved them. And I saved them for my 90s reunion that I had this summer. But I waited too long. I went to drink it and it was so gross.
Oh,
it was so
no.
gross. I drank the whole thing out of spite. I put a watermelon Jolly Rancher in there, drank it, but it was rank.
Dude.
And I'm still... You have that peppermint bark rum chata, right? Did yours expire?
I do, yeah. It did expire. I drank it when I was putting up my Christmas tree, and I'm still alive, and it tasted fine. So I think it's fine. It was. Okay. I was supposed to throw it out like last summer, but I think that's just one of those things they want you to buy a new one every year.
Mine said best before 9/22, so I should be good because it's now 12/22.
You're fine. You're fine. Just drink it.
And I have...
Yeah. It's really just a sell-by date. You got to smell it.
It is.
I have,
you got to smell it. It's fine.
I have
it's
4...
not real dairy. It's fine.
Of course, I have five bottles of J.R. Ewing bourbon. One I'm never opening.
I have one I've never opened, but I drink the rest of them.
So the other 4 I'm still going to go through. But so back to Sue Ellen and Clayton.
Yeah.
Because we're almost there. 2 more scenes.
Yeah. And he's like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're acting weird.
He's acting a little odd, too. I mean,
yeah, they're both a little on edge.
You're weird.
Afton, you're weird. Afton has put them both on edge.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah.
And so she's finally like, so why did you go see Afton? And then he's like, oh, shit,
Afton,
you know about that?
fuck
And she's
some
like,
shit
yeah.
up.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah, I know about that.
Bitch came and called me out.
Well,
So tell me,
I went to see if Cliff the Barnacle Barnes was worthy of you because he's a suitor.
Right, which is like, okay. And then so she finally like, and then you can see the look on her face where she's like, oh God, it's true. And then she's just like, okay, well, so Afton says that she thinks you're in love with me. And then he admits it. He's like, yes, I love you, but in a different way than any other man has loved you. And then she's just like, oh, that means you love me in a dad way. Okay, great.
No.
I don't think that's what that means.
It does not.
I love you in a daddy down south way or West Virginia way because I want to take you to bed.
No. I think Sarah and me, I think if you remember editing the last episode, Mary, we discussed a little about how we will not call a man who is not our father daddy and why.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was the whole time I was like, I agree. I think that is creepy as fuck. And when I'm not kink shaming. I am not, but it is not for me.
Right. I have issues with that.
Right. But I watched one of my favorite shows was Boardwalk Empire. I don't know if you watched that on HBO. And
I don't know how HBO.
One of the characters calls Nookie Thompson, who's the main character. She's always like, Daddy. Oh, I love you, Daddy. And the whole, it just grosses me out. I don't like it.
No, and
he did it all for the Nookie.
It got even worse after I saw Surviving R. Kelly.
Oh, right. Yes.
I was like, oh, that's even, I was like, nope. I knew I had a problem with it before. Mm-hmm. This is even worse.
Yeah. Oh, God. Nope. That Surviving R. Kelly was so, ooh.
I just watched part 2. Because I got Netflix back like a month ago, and I was like, what the fuck? How did this guy, just like Jeffrey Epstein, how the fuck did they get away with it for so long? So long.
We're set up in a society that makes it happen, you know? Power, money.
And they ignored all the people who could have put him away.
Yeah, right. Yep.
All right, so back to Dallas, of course, because we need to finish.
Mr. Greer comes to see JR, and he says he thinks the baby is in Texas.
And
now, how did you arrive at that conclusion?
Well, Kristen brought the baby to Dallas and never brought the baby back, and she was living with a man.
Obviously, because she died.
Right. She was living with a man named Jeff Faraday, and if the baby never returned to Texas, then that baby is here in Dallas. And JR says, I think I know where he is. And scene.
Dun, dun, dun. And scene. Freeze frame. It's JR. So drink once. All right. I'm giving this 4 bourbons because I think it was okay, but it wasn't amazing. And a dry martini with Katherine.
I'm going with anytime you get Bobby beating the crap out of someone and you had some old school vintage Pam in there that bumps it up a little for me.
Old school vintage Pam was nice. Yeah.
So obviously she's moved on beyond her cray-cray phase.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And we don't need Dr. Dagmara Conrad to tell us that anymore. But I bumped that up to maybe a 4.35 and Christopher's birth certificate.
Christopher Mark?
Christopher Mark, born on August 18th of 81. All 8s and 1s in that birth date.
Oh, yeah.
I give it 4 bourbons and an Afton truth bomb.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a bath bomb, but it stings.
Oh!
And yes.
And
did you just yas at the same time? I did.
Oh, Jinx on you two. Now you two can't speak, and I have to end the show. No.
Go ahead.
So does it have a stench of truth? Maybe.
Ow.
Oh yeah. She
yes.
There's always
sure.
Afton's truth bombs always have the sense of truth because she knows what's up.
Because she's spooky.
It comes in scent of truth. Afton's bath bombs. They sting, but they're true.
Right.
That made me think of that. Did you guys remember that episode of House where he and Cuddy finally get together and he mixes that bubble bath? And she's like, "Can we get out? Your special bath is burning my lady parts." Because he was like pouring like Listerine and shit in the tub. He was just like, he's like, I need to work my magic with this special bath, and he just like started throwing shit in there, like not even thinking.
I have to say I wasn't a viewer of House, but was that Lisa Edelstein?
I watched some of it.
Yes.
Okay, and she ended up
8
playing
seasons. Great show.
Right, it used to be on right before 24 because I would see the last 5 minutes. And I remember she most recently.
Trust me when I say this isn't a background noise show. House is really good.
It was really good. I watched a few years of it, not all of it, but a few years of it.
And did you know he was a singer because he performed with Meatloaf?
Hugh Laurie, yeah,
he was a guest on one of Meatloaf's albums. But
Hugh Laurie and Stephen Fry, I think, was his comedy buddy. Fry and Laurie were their.
Oh, okay.
Is their shtick.
Yeah, Lisa.
Hearing him speak in his normal voice is bizarre.
It's weird. Yeah, right?
It's bizarre.
Because I was watching Lisa Edelstein recently. She played Rob Lowe's ex-wife on 911 Lone Star for a while, and they just killed her off. So.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Join us next time when we'll talk about Season 5, Episode 22, Episode 99 of the series, Vengeance. Check out our merch on TeePublic.
As opposed to Winds of Vengeance, which was Episode 4.
Right, which is this. I'm sure this one will be a much better episode.
But it doesn't have Brian Dennehy.
But it doesn't have Brian fucking Dennehy. So I mean, there's
Brian
that.
fucking Dennehy.
There's that. Right.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, join us on our Facebook page or our Instagram and Twitter. A reminder that we still do have our Jim Davis Memorial going, which is on braintumor.org. If you would like to donate to that, we have that going until I think March, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So if that's something that you'd like to for the holidays, if you're one of those people who donates money during the holidays, that would be a really nice thing to donate to. And if you donate, of course, always send us a message, and we will give you a shout out for doing that. Of course, the link for that is in our show notes. And in the meantime, it's almost the holidays. We hope you have a great one.
Look for holiday messages and
holiday messages coming soon.
And after the barbecue.
After the barbecue.
Yes.
And we're going to try to do some DOA too.
Yeah, we should do a DOA sometime.
We should do a DOA.
That's not dead on arrival, folks, just so you know.
No, it's just a bunch of catty bitches sitting around shooting the shit.
Yeah.
And a bastard. And a bastard. I mean,
Yes, sir. You can be a catty bitch too. It's fine.
Nothing wrong with a catty bitch. You can be a catty bitch. You know what? Being a catty bitch is it's gender fluid.
Oh, okay.
It is gender
fluid.
Is. It really is. Yeah. Okay, we will see you next time. Until then, bye.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Tune in next week for a special episode on Rayar. There we go. We've got it.
Next on Dallas. The thought of that man with my Sue Ellen.
I see.
Well, I tell you, it just flat drives me crazy.
Are you asking me to stop seeing Cliff?
This thing almost destroyed the three of you once before. Do you think you're strong enough to handle it again?
No, wait a minute. I'm supposed to give up Sue Ellen because I'm afraid of a fight with JR?
This is not a fight I want.
It's not a fight I wanted, but I'm going to fight. And I'm going to win.
There's another man in her life.
Who might this man be?
Clayton Farlow.